Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. In the previous class, we discussed about foreign exchange quotations, bid and ask, and we discussed about an example. Then we discussed about the factors that affect the spread. Today, we are going to discuss foreign exchange quotations. The first one, it is direct quotation. Now, what is direct quotation and what is indirect quotation? Represents the value of foreign currency in dollars. 1 unit of foreign currency is equal to how many units of local currency? 1 unit of foreign currency is equal to how many units of local currency? Suppose $1 today it is equal to 76 Afghanis. So 1 unit of foreign currency, dollar is foreign currency, and F's is local currency, is equal to how many units of local currency? You can also write it like this: 1 divided by 76. So 1 divided by 76, we will get 1 divided by 76, which is equal to 0. Now I'm talking about another thing. This is called direct quotation. Now what is indirect quotation? Now indirect quotation is 1 unit of local currency is equal to how many units of foreign currency? 1 Afghani is equal to how many dollars? So divide 1 divided by 76. So we are getting 0.0131. So this is called indirect quotation. So indirect quotation, we are calculating that 1 unit of foreign currency is equal to how many units of local currency. And in indirect quotation, 1 unit of foreign currency is equal to how many units of local currency? Sorry, 1 unit of local currency is equal to how many units of foreign currency? Take another example. Now, 1 Afghani, it is equal to 2.04 rupees. Now 1 unit of local currency is equal to how many units of foreign currency? This is now indirect quotation. Now what will be its direct quotation? So 1 divided by 2.04, 1 divided by 2.04, so we are getting 1 rupees is equal to 0.490 Afghans. So this is called direct quotation. Now this is direct quotation. So direct quotation is when one unit of foreign currency, it is equal to how many units of local currency. Now Afghani is local currency, dollar is foreign currency. So one unit of foreign currency, it is equal to how many units of local currency. Like see, 1 unit of foreign currency, it is equal to how many units of local currency. And indirect quotation is that 1 unit of local currency, this is 1 Afghani, so it is equal to 2.04 rupees. And 1 Afghani, it is equal to 0.0131 dollars. So here dollar is local currency and euro is foreign currency. So see, $1 divided by 0.97 euros, it is equal to 1.03, means 1 unit of foreign currency, 1 euro, it is equal to 1.03 dollars. Now here in this example, dollar is home currency. And now 1 unit of local currency, it is equal to 1 divided by 1.03, so we will get 0.97 euros. So this is direct and indirect quotation. So indirect quotation is 1 divided by direct quotation, just like we did here. 1 divided by 76, so we got that is this one. Simply if direct quotation is 2.04, so 1 divided by this, just like we did here, $1 is equal to 76. So 1 divided by 76, so we got 0.0131 dollars. So this is indirect quotation. Now check here, Canadian dollar 0.66 and its indirect quotation is 1.51. Now after 6 months, this rate changes from 0.66 to 0.70 and this rate changes from 1.51 to 1.43. Euro to dollar, it is equal to 1.031. 1 euro is equal to 1.031 dollars, and then $1 is equal to 0.97 euros. After 6 months, it is 1.064 and then it is 0.94. Similarly for all these. Now here is a point. When the euro is appreciating against the dollar, the indirect exchange rate of the euro is declining. Now see, what was the direct quotation here? 0.66. And what was indirect quotation? 1.51. Now the direct quotation appreciates from 0.66, it goes up to $0.70. So direct quotation appreciates. Now see, look at the indirect quotation. It was 1.51 6 months ago. Now see, it comes down 1.43. So if direct quotation is appreciating from 0.66 to 0.70, the indirect quotation will depreciate 1.51 to 1.4. Look at this. Direct quotation was 1 euro was equal to $1.031 and indirect quotation was 0.97. Now what happened? Direct quotation appreciates. It becomes from 1.031, it goes to 1.064. So now see, look at the indirect quotation after 6 months. So it comes down from 0.97 to 0.94. Look at this. Swiss franc, 1 Swiss franc is equal to $0.62 and indirect quotation is 1.61. Then what happened after 6 months? 0.62, from 0.62 it goes up to 0.67. Now similarly, indirect quotation, it comes down from 1.61 to 1.49. So there is an inverse relationship between these two. When the euro is appreciating against the dollar based on an upward movement of the direct exchange rate of the euro, he's talking about the direct exchange rate. The indirect exchange rate of the euro is declining. Similarly, when the euro is depreciating, when euro will depreciate against the dollar, the indirect exchange rate is rising. So here, if direct quotation appreciates, indirect quotation depreciates, and vice versa. If direct quotation depreciates, indirect quotation will appreciate. This is the relationship in 2005. See this. Now see, there is a depreciation. So see, there is an appreciation. See, here is depreciation again. See, here is appreciation. It is coming down. See, this line is coming down. It comes down. So see, it goes up. It comes down. It goes up. It goes up. So see, it comes down. It comes down. Again, it goes up a bit. It goes up. It comes down. Goes up, comes down. So similarly, if direct exchange rate is appreciating, indirect exchange rate will depreciate. Now there is another type of exchange rate that is called cross exchange rate. Now what is cross exchange rate? Is the amount of one foreign currency per unit of another foreign currency. Like see here, value of peso in dollars and value of Canadian dollars in dollars. One Afghani is equal to 2.04 rupees and one Afghani is equal to, suppose, 1.06 Indian rupees. So you can find the exchange rate between Pakistani rupees and Indian rupees by dividing 2.04 divided by 1.06. So 2.04 divided by 1.06. So we will get 1.06 0.92 means 1 Indian rupee is equal to 1.92 rupees. Means if the exchange rate of one country is given with another country and the exchange rate of the same country is given with a third country, then you can find the exchange rate between these two currencies. Look at this. Is the amount of one foreign currency per unit of another foreign currency. Now see here, value of peso in dollars, it is given. And value of Canadian dollars in dollars, it is given. So you can find the value of peso to Canadian dollars. So value of peso in Canadian dollars, so peso, value of peso in dollars, 0.07, and value of Canadian dollar in dollars, so 0.07 divided by 0.70, so we got 0.10. So means 1 peso, it is equal to 0.10 Canadian dollars. So cross exchange rate is basically the amount of one foreign currency per unit of another foreign currency. Then the next topic, it is forward contracts. One is forward contract, the other is future contract. So we'll discuss about these in detail. Forward contract is a non-standardized contract between two parties. It is a contract, but it is non-standardized contract. Non-standardized, what does it mean? Standardized mean, first we will discuss standardized, then it will be clear to you that what is non-standardized. In stock exchange, there are option contracts, there are future contracts, I'm not talking about that. In stock exchange, if you want to trade these contracts, so the amount of shares, it will be given there, that not more than 500 shares. You can trade a contract, an agreement in which the number of shares will not be more than 500 or not more than 1000. Means the number of shares, it will be given. The quantity, if it is the quantity of shares or the quantity of currency, it will be given. Not more than that, not less than that. If standard is 500, so it will be not more than 500 and not less than 500. If the standard is 1000, so not more than 1000, not less than 1000. This is called standardized contracts. Non-standardized means that this contract will be for any number, for 500, for 600, for 700, for 1500, whatever you want. The contract will be of any number of shares or any number of currency. Depends on the agreement between the two parties. On which they agreed. So this is basically non-standardized. We call it non-standardized. So this is the difference between standardized and non-standard. Standardized is for a specific quantity and non-standardized is for any quantity. Depends between the contract of these two parties on which they agreed. So forward contracts, these are basically non-standardized contracts between two parties to buy or sell an asset in a determined date. This contract is for buying an asset or for selling an asset in a determined date. The date will be specified and for a price already established, and the price will also be already established. So non-standardized contract between two parties for buying and selling an asset. This asset can be shares, this asset can be currency, this asset can be anything. Now in this contract, one is the long position. Long position means you want to buy an asset, and short position means you want to sell the asset. Now the components of forward contracts, the features. The first thing, non-standardized terms for any amount, for any quantity. You can enter into this agreement. No third-party guarantee. In this contract, there is no guarantee. There is no third-party guarantee. If this is A, this is B, the contract will be between these two parties. There will be no third party who will take the guarantee. Suppose C. So there will be no third party who will take, if this party defaults or this party defaults, so this will be responsible. No. In this, if one party or the other party is defaulting, there is no third party to take guarantee of this thing. Unregulated. There are no rules and regulations specified for forward contracts. It is unregulated. This is private between two parties. Depends on these two parties. If one escapes or the other is going to escape, so this agreement is between you and A and B. So this agreement is basically private. The next thing is that no margin requirements. What is margin requirement? Basically, the next contract that we will study, that is future contract. To remove the difficulties of forward contracts, they include a third party. And that third party is basically the stock exchange. Suppose I'm talking about the stock exchange future contracts. So, daily basis, there will be increase in the value of share, there will be decrease in the value of share. So this party will deposit some money, suppose $1,000. This party will also deposit some money here. If any party is in losses, so this party, they will deposit an additional amount. Suppose they lose margin, minimum amount of margin, suppose it is 1,000. And this party, suppose after 2 days, this party loses some money. Suppose they lost $200. This amount will be deducted from his account and it will go into the account of B. So his amount will become 1,000 plus 200, so it will become 1,200. And in his account, amount which is left, it will be 800. Now what will he do? He will add A will deposit additional 200 into his account to reach the minimum amount, that is the margin basically. This amount, the initial amount that both the parties are depositing with third party, this is called margin. So there is no margin in forward contracts because it is between two parties, there is no third party, so there is no margin requirement. Bears counterparty risk. Risk is high. If this party is escaping or this party is escaping, so the chance of default, it is very high. The risk of default of the parties, it is very high. Now the next contract, that is the future contract, same like this. We will discuss that. This one, a financial contract that obligates the buyer to purchase an asset such as commodity or financial asset at a predetermined future date and price. The same definition, but here some things are included, some features are included in the forward contract, in the previous contract. One thing, standardized in terms of quantity of goods and delivery dates. Dates will be fixed and quantity of goods, it will be fixed. Just like I told you that the agreement will be for 500, not more than 500, not less than 500. And the dates, it will be for 3 months. Forward contract, it can be for any amount, any time period. It can be 5 months, it can be 4 months. But in future contracts, the time is specified. It will be not more than 3 months, it will not be less than 3 months. And the quantity is also specified. It will not be more than 500, it will not be less than 500. Guaranteed by third party. There will be a third party which will take the guarantee. No counterparty risk. Why? There is third party involved. Basically, the weak points of the forward contract are removed and the future contract is made. So when there is third party, there will be no counterparty risk. The chance of default, it will be what? Less. Good faith, that there is margin requirements. Both the party will deposit a margin, a specified amount with this third party. So this will reduce the chance of counterparty risk. Regulated market, and there are specified rules and regulations. So the market of future contract, it is basically a regulated market. There are laws regarding future contracts, but there are no laws regarding the forward contract. So the difference between these two, this contract, forward contract, this is non-standardized, future contract is standardized. There is no third party guarantee. In that, there is third party guarantee. In the market for forward contract, it is unregulated, and future contracts, the market is regulated. There is no margin requirement in forward contracts, but in future contract, there is margin requirement. And here is counterparty risk, and in the future contracts, there is no counterparty risk. So today we discussed about different type of quotations, that is direct quotation, indirect quotation, and then after that we discussed about cross quotation or cross exchange rate. Then after that we discussed about forward contract, that what is forward contract and what are the features or components of forward contract, and then after that we discussed about future contracts and the components of future contract. In the next class we will discuss about the examples of forward contract and future contracts, so it will be much more clear to you. I think for today it is enough. Have a good time. Assalamu alaikum.